Hi, welcome to JJ's Productions. We're back with the Stoke City Vlogcast and this is the hot take. So, I'll admit I'm hoping we haven't got to do this because if not I'm going to cut now to a bit of footage from the Sentinel. But if not then they decided they didn't want to record it and yeah, I'm going to be a bit disappointed at that.
I think it was brilliant, honestly. I mean, 90% better than what QPR was. And first 20 minutes I thought, hey up, here we go. But then they just come alive like they always do. And I think it takes them 20 minutes to warm up every match. And after 53 years of supporting them, then they're used to it.
I'm going to say, it's just nice to actually see some goals here. I mean, the way I see it, like that, you know, first 20 minutes you're thinking, oh god, here we go again. Then it did get better. I don't know what caused it, I'll admit, but you think to some right, we're getting some momentum. We're getting the lead second, I think, right, maybe we'll get it. Just same old, I've heard it wasn't a penalty and you think, well, alright, fair enough. Just luck going against us there, so hopefully with Leeds at home again, maybe we can get a home win at last.
Clean play, brilliant.
Yeah,
I think he should have been man of the match.
Yeah, I think he was a good shout. Yeah, people who've been saying he's not good, maybe that might just calm him down a little bit. Yeah. So, we're on to where are we going to next? Preston. So yeah, fingers crossed we can get a win on the board and yeah.
We've got the tickets for Preston, so we're going. And we've also got them for
we got them
Brum.
for Brum, yeah.
Yeah.
So, and we'll be back for Leeds as well.
Yeah. So want
yeah.
some more of this, folks, aren't you lucky?
Yeah, so I'll cut to when we record this on Wednesday and yeah, let's see how we're thinking then.
I think we'll record on Thursday.
Okay, we're joking, but honestly, we got back from Preston at midnight. We had our food around 1 AM and we got up at 6 AM. We're recording this at 10 AM. So forgive us if we aren't at our liveliest.
I certainly won't be.
I'll admit, we didn't actually anticipate this when we recorded the stuff for Charlton. I'm so glad in a way that we've got footage from the Sentinel. So to the Sentinel, Pete Smith, everyone involved in that, thanks for recording us. But yes, shall we go to Charlton first of all, because that... Oh, well, not Charlton. Why are we talking Charlton? Oh,
No,
you see what I'm talking about?
Wake up.
1 minute in, I bet. I've already made a mistake.
The old dear's here, awake and alert. Come on, lad.
Alright, so, Derby. Let's talk about Derby.
Well, against all odds, we got a draw.
Yeah, I mean, when you've been Preston, you wonder how you got a draw against Derby, but let's go on.
The only thing is, we were 1-0 down after 80 seconds.
Yeah, that was a bad start.
Bad? I called that a flaming disaster.
Okay, so
Goodness sake.
the way I saw that goal, right, is Joe Allen could have done more on the ball in the centre of the park to get it off Huddleston. Then it was too easily sprayed out to our right wing where Tommy Smith didn't do enough to close the ball down. And then once it was played inside into the box, no one did enough to stop the shot. So, calamity of errors.
Yeah. And again, you could see it coming.
Yeah.
You know, if we as spectators can see it coming, why can't they?
Our defence is butter and they were a hot knife.
Yeah. I mean, I'm back to it again, everyone, that they don't wake up until 20 minutes in. And I don't know why.
What's your excuse for last night?
Well, the 20 minutes turned into 94 minutes. You know, but this 20 minutes walk, somebody, one of these teams, they're going to crack onto this and they're going to think, Stoke don't know where they are the first 20 minutes, go for it.
You mean like Preston cottoned onto it and got us in the first 20?
Yeah, but I don't mean one goal. I reckon that somebody is going to have a flurry with us in them first 20 minutes.
Well, it is getting to the point, right, where I think if you're a team and you're coming up against Stoke, you know, get at them early, score early, and you've got a good chance of winning because we just don't recover.
No. You know, the only thing I can say about Saturday is that the heads didn't go down.
I mean, it's an irony. I've just said we don't recover, but we did recover against Derby.
Yeah.
I actually came out of that game feeling quite hopeful, and it's actually awkward now that we've had what was a hot take after the Derby game, and now we're on a very hot take after the Preston game.
The only thing I didn't agree with in the Derby game is that Ryan Woods was given man of the match, where controversially, I believe it should have been James McLean.
I thought he did all right. I mean, like I said in the Sentinel clip, I did believe he was man of the match. Just for the fact that he was sort of doing all right with the job he was given, which isn't his main job. Don't mute that. What man, we do say to ourselves, check your phone, check your watch, make sure that you're not going to get interrupted. And
I'm a technophobe, shut up.
Okay, so we're back, fix that.
Yeah, so James McLean,
yeah.
I think that he played 97 minutes of good football.
Yeah. I mean, again, he wasn't outstanding. I don't think anyone was against Derby, but at least he did his job, which I think, considering the role he's been given, which is thankless, I think that's all we can expect, that he does the job he's asked. So, yeah, I'm happy with that.
Right, now down to the nitty-gritty.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but Joe Allen has got to be replaced.
Well,
he is making too many mistakes.
Put it like this. We're going on to Preston a little bit here, just for the fact that it's fresh in the memory. But that first goal, everyone will look at Jack Butland for that goal. And rightfully so, we should have saved it.
Yeah.
But not as many people, in my opinion, will look at the fact that Allen should have got that ball closed down.
Yeah,
he should have won the ball on the edge of the box before the shot. And when you watched on replay, it's as if he shirks away from the ball, as if to say, "Oh, I'll just go this way," and then he goes that way, and he doesn't know what to do.
He was facing the wrong way. He actually turned to the wrong way, and I thought, what are you doing, lad?
There's something that I've picked up with watching Sky Sports, and it's the idea of defenders or midfielders anticipating danger. Joe doesn't. It's as if I'm surprised at this. I always thought Joe was one of those players, but it's as if he doesn't know what to do when a ball's coming into a dangerous area. And like in that instance, he thought, "Oh, I'll stand off him," and you think, why? Win the ball. Even if it's a case of you win the ball and then a second ball goes loose, you've done your job and then someone else has got to do theirs.
Yeah.
But it's as if he thinks, "Oh, I might make a mistake, so I won't do that."
Or if I tackle him, I'm going to get booked.
Perhaps.
I
mean, Joe doesn't get many bookings, I don't think, so that could be a thing.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, but our Jack, he's not having a good time at the minute. But he's got to stop blaming everybody else for his mistakes.
I mean, if anything, it doesn't help that after the game, we're hearing that on the way there, they heard that he's not going to play for it, he's not going to be in the England squad this time. And you think, Jack, that's got to be the last thing on your mind right now. Yes, it's a blow, but the fact is, you haven't performed well enough to warrant that inclusion. Yeah. And I don't know about you, but if you're going into a game with that on your mind, you're not focused on the game.
No. And we were right by him last night again. We were right by the goal. And he looked lost. He really did. It was like he was vacant. I can't put my finger on it, to be honest.
I mean, how bad that first half was, we were just talking about Jack, and I'll be honest, I actually started muttering to my mum, because even though we were on the front row, and I thought, just supposing his hearing's good, I wouldn't like him hearing what's being said, even though there was probably about 1,000 or so Stokies shouting stuff at him as well, but you think, you don't want getting his head like that, do you? Because if anything, he's got another 60 odd minutes to play.
Yeah, and I think they did get to him because he turned around and he just looked up to the sky for some reason.
When the second went in,
Yeah, and I thought, you aren't here.
I mean, I did shout to him, shake it off, because I thought if he tries to carry on without clearing his head, he's going to make more mistakes.
Well, he went on his hands and knees, didn't he? And Tom Edwards went up to him.
Yeah, I mean, I've got to praise Tom, actually. I thought that was good leadership.
Yeah.
That was probably a big moment for Tom, in the sense that he was basically being the elder statesman. The other was sort of
walked away.
Yeah, and he actually went to a player who was suffering and said, "Come on, pull yourself up."
Yeah. But as I say, I can't put my finger on it. But I don't know. It just looked a lost soul, really. You know, and even before the match, I thought he looks a bit subdued. You know, when they were warming up.
Yeah.
But, you know, when they were warming up, he was making some good saves.
Yeah.
And thinking that they don't half kick it, I was petrified behind that goal how hard he was kicking it at him.
Yeah.
You know, and he was making some good saves, and I thought, oh, all right, you know, you're on form here, it looks like it. And then we start the game, and
it goes back to the thing about penalties. You can practice all you like on the training ground, but once it gets to a real life situation or real match situation, you can't simulate it.
sorry folks, I have to have a drink.
That's better.
Well, I think that's honestly all we can say about Derby.
Well, to be honest, we've said very little about Derby. I mean, to be honest, they didn't wow me. I'm not surprised they lost to Bristol, but that's just because I'm thinking to myself, they didn't do much against us. They've sort of got, I wouldn't say they were fluke goals, because they were well worked, and they should have won it with that, what's his name, Marty Wagon goal.
Yeah.
But, well, non-goal, should I say. It was the one-on-one that Jack shaved. But, oh, I'm real sleepy here. But, yeah, it was, even though they had those chances that could have got them 3-2 in front, I still think they weren't spectacular. You know, I didn't think, wow, this is a team that is going to storm to the top of the league or even win the playoffs. I just thought...
Controversial penalty at first. At first when I saw it, I didn't think it was a penalty.
I couldn't see it for the fact that the fellow was sitting next to decided now was the time he wanted to go back to Wolves, and I'm thinking, fair enough mate, you've got to go home, but any chance you can just wait until the ball's out of play before you start moving?
I mean, to be honest, they were cussing at the back of us because he was just standing up watching.
Yeah, that was irritated me as well, because I'm not being funny, I'm a tall fella, so I stand up, and yeah, it's awkward for those behind because I can hear them tutting at me as well.
Yeah, I mean, you're 6'3", Doug, you know.
Yeah, something like that.
You're a tall lad, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I think, shall we move on to Preston?
Officially, yeah. I mean, like I say, Derby, they didn't wow me. I think a draw was about right, but I don't know, it could have gone either way.
Well, I was writing my notes last night on the coach coming back.
Yeah.
And for a first, Mother was lost for words. I really was lost for words. And I didn't actually know what I was going to write about it. I thought it was just diabolical.
I'll put it like this, even though you're lost for words, I think it's clear to point that usually when you're doing this, you have one sheet in front of you and you turn it around.
Yeah.
This time it looks like you've got 2 or 3, so you did find your words, it's just that you were initially speechless.
Yeah, but it's all negative. Well, it's got to be. There was no positives last night, none at all.
I mean, even the food at Preston was bad in the sense that it was... Well, I'll put it like this, it was not good food, you know, we didn't enjoy eating the hot dogs we had, but...
Half a pint of flaming Foster's lager. £3.90.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Foster's, certainly not at that price, so...
It was like cat wee.
So a game out Preston there.
So...
I'm not being funny, I consider the north, or at least the northwest, to be sort of like the good place for football food, so you let me down, Preston.
Yeah, so... That was just a nightmare from start to finish, and we were 1-0 down in the first 15 minutes. Same old, you know, and what's daft about it, we could see it coming. Why, again, I'm sorry, but I'm going over it again. Why can't they see what's happening?
I mean, this is where I think, just for what we do as a vlogcast, I'd like to think we put the work in the sense that when we got back last night, we actually rewatched. Well, you rewatched the whole match, didn't you?
Yeah.
And I just watched the pre-match just for the fact that I wanted to get onto something else for this. And it was a case of you're looking at the pre-match and they're talking about the derby game, and you just see now we've employed the diamond, and it does seem like Woods is doing a good role when we watch him.
Yeah.
But obviously he's leaving gaps because
Yeah.
it's like he's not sitting back in the defence, and because of that, Lindsay's sort of exposed on his side because McLean's bombed on, and Bart's exposed on his side because Edwards or Smith has bombed on. So we need to find a better balance with the fullbacks. That's just got to be the solution, because I think that's what's happening. Teams are sort of saying, right, if we try and keep two up on the centre halves, or at least keep one up between the two centre halves, we've got a chance of beating them in the one-on-one.
Yeah. But again, it was Joe Allen's fault. You know.
Are we talking about the Preston goal here, or?
Yeah. Well, it was partly Joe Allen, but the full blame has got to be to Jack.
You're going for the first Preston?
Yes.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just checking which one we're on about. I mean, yeah.
And, you know, he should have got it, but he was late again, and I don't know.
I mean, the second goal, I have a bit of sympathy with Jack there again, because I can sort of see what happened. He punched the ball, because I saw the melee and I thought, no way he can claim that, so punch is probably best. And you're thinking, okay, that guy who actually scored the goal is probably going to take a shot first time, so Jack sort of held his position thinking, right, I'll try and parry a shot.
Yeah.
And then as soon as he realised the guy had taken a touch, he starts retreating, can't get his footwork right, so when the shot actually comes in, he's still trying to get his feet right when the ball goes through him.
Just wrong-footed, wasn't he?
Yeah, I mean, it was clever from the striker in that sense, but still, you're looking at Jack and saying, come on, you're a top goalie, you've got to do better.
The only thing is, I know he was moving backwards, but he must practice moving backwards a bit quicker than what he did.
Yeah, I mean, again, this is where I do believe that the speculation's had its impact, because I can imagine it slows your mental facilities down, even if you're not actively thinking about it. It's like, when you've got, in real life, you know, if you're stressed about something, you don't think as clearly as if you're not stressed about something. So, you know, it's just a case of you feel more fatigued, and I can imagine that's what's happening with Jack. He's more mentally strained at the moment.
Can I just put my little take on it? Jack has changed since he become a dad. Excuse me. And whether or not it is that, you know, because babies are very needy in the first 6 months, and whether he is getting disturbed a lot, I don't know.
I'm not sure I buy that.
I'm not buying it myself. Maybe I'm trying to make an excuse for him. I don't know, a nice excuse. I just don't know.
I mean, just to be clear, because I think this is where you're shooting at, we've got nothing against Jack personally. I mean, after the derby game, we actually saw something nice where, you know, everyone had just walked off our stand, and we were just sort of lingering around, and Jack was just walking to the tunnel. He saw a family at the front, just a few at the block next to us, and he threw the ball their way. And when they caught it, he just gave them a sly little wink as if to say, "Yeah, don't tell anyone about that." Oh, that was it. Yeah, it was the fun finger on the lips. So, you know, he's a very nice guy by the looks of it. There are times when I think he's a little too media trained.
Yeah.
You know, I just think that comes part and parcel with being with England and all these other things that pro footballers have now. But I try and look beyond that and just see what's underneath, and I can't help but think there is a nice guy there. So you don't want to criticise him.
Yeah.
It's like Ryan last season. I didn't want to criticise him, but if I thought he was having a bad game, I'd call it.
Well, we've got to say, we can't just sit here and say, "Oh, Jackie played brilliant. Oh, flipping heck, he had a blinder," when he didn't. But it's like the third goal. You know, and quite honestly, we hadn't got that much of a view on it.
Well, if anything, Declan Rudd was blocking a bit of it.
Yeah, I mean, he was up and down like a Jack and the Beanstalk, to be thought, just jumping up and down.
Anyone would think he'd scored the third goal while we celebrated.
Yeah, yeah. But Pugster, one of our viewers, he told us that they were actually actually static, the Stoke players.
In watching it back, you've got to agree,
Yeah.
there was just no reaction. I mean, the first shot was like a funny deflection, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then you're thinking, come on, one of you go and close down Harrop, and none of them got there.
And do you know, Harrop had been booked just before that. And do you know, in my own head, I thought to myself, I bet he scores. And I didn't say anything to Josh because I didn't want to jinx it, to be honest. Yeah. And lo and behold, it was then you scored. And, you know, it was such an easy goal.
I mean, I think this is what... I'm going away from the actual nitty-gritty of the game here, but what has really irritated me the most is that before the game, we were reading in the paper quotes from Alex Neil, the Preston manager, saying we dominated them last time we played them, we were the better team and we're going to do it again. And I thought, what motivation, or what more motivation as a squad do Stoke need, rather than just putting that up on a wall in the dressing room and saying, right, this guy obviously thinks he's going for ashes, let's go out there and prove him wrong. And they didn't.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I mentioned it last time, but I just can't see Nathan Jones in the dressing room being aggressive. I can't see it.
Oh, I can. Sorry, I'm not being funny, but especially after the Derby post-interview, I think if he can come across that way to the media, surely he can be more nasty, if you like, in the dressing room.
I don't know.
I personally think he can.
Yeah.
I just think it's that we don't see it, which I think is a good thing after Rhodes.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, I like Nathan Jones, don't get me wrong, but he just comes across as a little bit wimpish to me. I mean, he plays every ball on that field, standing there watching him. You can see him, you know, and his actions, I feel quite sorry for him in that respect, that he's just at a loss now as what to do. But I'd get him in training today, I'd make him do 5-6 hours training, I would. I'd work until they drop.
Well, the thing is, we're playing Leeds, because obviously we're going to get onto Leeds as well. They're obviously flying. You know, I don't think the wings have been clipped really, despite the playoffs and losing them last season. So the way I see it is, it's attack against defence really, and our defence is absolutely dying. So if he's got any job this next few days, it's to just try and get the holes plugged in that defence. Just make sure we're not as big a cheese grater as we have been.
Well, last night on his interview, it was noted that he shrugged his shoulders 67 times, and I watched it, and this is all he did. And I lost count at 40. I'd had enough. So I can well believe it was 67 times.
I mean, it's got to be said, if you're shrugging your shoulders that many times, I believe he is someone who will merit the study of body language. Surely he must look at that afterwards and think, wow, I didn't come across well in that interview.
Yeah, and he was so down in the mouth, which you can expect. You know, you can't come out smiling or else he'd get blasted. But he just looked so sad. And Peter Coates, he come on, I mean, in the game they put the camera on him and he looked, well, vacant.
Which isn't good.
No, you know, I just can't put words into it, how he looked.
I mean, again, I've said this right from word go. Why did they say promotion is the aim?
Yeah, you don't say that.
I mean, all that's done is put a target that is unachievable now. So, for the rest of the season, we're going to be chasing something we can't achieve. And I wouldn't mind, but it's not just Nathan Jones, it is Coates as well. And you think, come on, look at last season, we were nowhere near the playoffs. Why not just try and at least bridge the gap this season instead of trying to focus on that?
Yeah. I mean, I never mock the players, never. But last night I did. I give Jack 3, I give the defenders 4, midfielders 4 and Tom Edwards 5. Josh doesn't agree with that, but in my opinion, Tom Edwards, he had quite a good game.
I'd go one lower personally. I'd give him a 4. I don't think he did anything of note that was good. I mean, like I said, I praise him for the leadership with Jack. You know, I think on a night when everyone was folding, you know, it was easy.
Very, very wet, sitting there watching them.
Oh yeah, we did forget our coats, so we got a bit of a drowning.
Well, before we went, we were sunbathing.
Alright, maybe not sunbathing, but we were sitting out in the
garden with my sister.
But yeah, just getting back to Tom, like I say, I thought he was doing alright, but he just didn't do anything to sort of force it. Like, there wasn't a great cross that you think, wow, he put in a great ball, that guy should have scored, or he didn't put in a good tackle at the other end that made you think, wow, he's really merited his place over Smith. And
I just thought that he was there for when the ball come and he was going past the players.
I mean, the only one for me who stood out was Nathan Collins, and I feel like I'm just backing this guy on blind faith right now, but the fact is, there was 2 times in the second half he was playing right-sided centre-half in a back 3, or a back 5, however you're counting, and I can't help but think that he was on the ball and thought, well, no one else is going to run, so I'll just run with it, and twice he overlapped Edwards on the wing, and that's half the reason I've marked him down, because there's no way a right-sided centre-half should be overlapping the right wing-back. But he obviously didn't have faith that anyone in front of him was going to do something, so twice, to my count, he whipped the ball in.
And can I just say, as well, I know that we all wet, but 1,402 went to the, Stoke supporters went, which I think was brilliant.
We made up about 10% of the attendance, so yeah. I'll call that good, considering, Preston could have done more.
Right, Leeds United. Leeds are currently top, and we're at the bottom holding everybody else up.
Someone's got to.
We've got broad shoulders. Last season, I don't know how, but we won 2-1 with Lucas and Alan scoring.
I'm not seeing that happening again. If anything, I'd be surprised if Alan starts this weekend after his game, but we'll soon see.
Yeah, so just please listen to me up there if you're there and let it happen again.
I was just going to say, you're getting God willing.
God willing. I'm banking on anybody at the moment, Charlie.
God willing, will be a good side one day. I can't do Welsh, unfortunately. But yeah,
I honestly thought, well, I'm not going to say what you Josh, please don't do accents, you can't do them.
Okay, come on.
Right, the man to watch is Patrick Bamford, isn't he?
Little diver!
Yeah, but he's got 3 goals already.
Yeah.
And
it's a shame. I liked him, but for a while. He was on loan from Chelsea a few times, and he seemed to always do well in the Championship. So he's one you keep an eye on, and never pushed on. He seems to have maybe found his feet a bit now at Leeds, but I'm guessing an injury will crop up sooner or later and derail him.
I've listened to this, and Pablo Hernandez. Okay. He's got 2. So, them 2 we've got to watch. Well, not me personally, but,
I'm going to say, Hernandez is their talisman, so if he's injured, we've got a leg up.
Yeah, I mean, at the minute they've got 3 wins and 1 draw.
Yeah, but Leeds are a good side, there's just no taking away from it. Even losing Kemal Roof from last season, I thought he was one of their better players, so I'm surprised they've let him go to Anderlecht, I think it was, but they must feel confident without him.
Oh, just as a little stat.
Go on.
We have no wins, 1 draw, and 3 losses.
People have been quick to point out that the 1 win we have had this season was in the Cup, and it also happened to be a game when Butland, Allen and Bart didn't play.
How can it be that? We've only played 4 games, haven't we?
Yeah, plus the Cup.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I thought I'd written it down wrong,
Yeah, I mean, put it like this, we'll try and find out if the Leeds away game was on sale or if it had sold out. The website's absolutely useless for that, so I'm going to try and find out this afternoon, just in case the coach travel's reasonable. But yeah, we'll either be going or we won't. Let's soon find out. But yeah, it's
Well, if it's anything like last night, Wolf, it's supposed to have taken an hour to get home.
Yeah.
But the D road was closed, so we had to go to Stafford.
Yeah, I mean, I think we wouldn't be feeling like we are now if we'd have got back fast, but there was just traffic on the way. Well, it wasn't traffic, it was a diversion, wasn't it? So,
yeah.
I mean, it's alright when you're on the coach, you're just messing around, doing whatever you want on, with your book, your tablet, your whatever, but you get home and suddenly you see the time and it's like, oh God.
I'm actually glad that I managed to type this up on the coach, because I don't think my eyes would have coped with it this morning.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, Leeds, sorry folks, we diverted then.
Not a bad diversion when we're talking about diversions.
No, it wasn't bad. But my prediction is 1-0 Stoke. I've got to do it. I've got to think positive.
Well, the way I see it is, Bielsa won't have his spies this time, but I think you don't need spies to work out where our problems are. I mean,
just watch last night's match.
Exactly. So 1-3 Leeds.
No! You can't do that!
I'm sorry, I just don't have faith in us.
No, you can't.
At least not against Leeds.
I've got a drink.
Prove me wrong, Stoke. Prove me wrong. But like this, if you'd have asked me after Derby, I'd have probably gone for a better scoreline. I'm not sure I'd have still gone for a win, but I'd have probably gone for the draw. But
it's a good job I'm
last
on
night's
camera,
really.
folks, or else
I'm going to say, I'm at the point now where I think actually going for a loss is the safe bet with results, because the thing is, they can only prove me wrong.
Sorry, I'm flabbergasted.
I wish I could go for something, but I'm not going to just go blind faith.
Sorry, I'm just sitting here with my mouth open. You have shocked me.
I don't go to Stoke to watch them win, I go to support Stoke. And I say that to any Stoke supporter, if you only go because they're winning, you're not going to be seeing a lot of wins for a while, so get used to it. You know, I'm not being horrible, it's just, you know, I want them to win, don't get me wrong, but equally I'm not going to be calling for Jones out because we're losing.
Oh, I never call for a manager to go out.
The way I see it is, we've had a load of rubbish come through the door with Hughes at the end. I won't say Lamb, but even though the two during this spell didn't work out, and Rowett caused a mess. Whether he could have sorted it out is another story, but the fact is, what he brought in has created a mess. So we've got to stick with Jones just for the simple reason we need someone to actually say, right, this lot are good, this lot isn't, I've cleared the decks, and if it doesn't work out, then you sort it out. But gotta give him time to sort it out, because I don't care what people are debating online right now. He's had, say, 6 to 8 months in the job, but for me, he still doesn't know his best team. And that's because he's brought new players in, he's got players like Allen and Butland who should be doing well on paper, but won't, because they've got their heads elsewhere, I think. So, right now, we aren't a team that are capable of challenging for promotion, therefore, we're a team that are more likely to lose.
I mean, I'm going back to Peter Coates. I'm sure, I wonder if it was going through his head, I've got to get Pulis back. I've got to get Pulis back. I'm going Raymond Toney tomorrow. I'll
be honest, that would be one of the worst things he could do. Purely because Jones has got players in for his style. And I'm looking at Mark Duffy, for instance. Can anyone imagine him playing in a Tony Pulis system?
No.
You know, there are a few of them like that, but you just don't bring Tony in this situation. Yes, he could probably work with the likes of Gregory and Vokes and whatnot, but you can't rely on just that.
No.
If anything, let's be blunt, the football will be worse than what it is now. And I know people might say, well, we get results on Tony, but I'd say there's no guarantee about it. And if anything, it could be a third homecoming that fails.
Yeah.
So just don't go down that route, whoever you are, listening.
Yeah. I mean, the number of people that keep mentioning Tony Pulis, you know, I've heard quite a few saying we want Pulis back. You know, when we're in the concourse.
Yeah.
You know, and is that the answer? I don't think so.
I don't think so. I mean, I'll put it on record. I'll be annoyed if Tony comes back.
Yeah.
You know,
I tell you, I'd like here, and I've always, before Nathan come, was Big Sam.
See, I just don't like going down that route. It's the old men's club. You know, it's like, oh, okay, you know, you've done this before, you know, you get this job. And I think, yes, they've done it before, but they've also failed in jobs before as well. It's one of the reasons I don't mind Jones, because he hasn't got failure on his record. Yeah. So, yes, he's failing right now, but it doesn't mean he can't work it out. It's the thing with young managers in my eyes. Yes, they can make mistakes, but they're also young enough to learn from them. Yeah. Whereas the older ones, they're stuck in the ways. I mean, you try and tell Tony Pulis to play ticky-tacky football, he'll sway you off the pitch. Yeah. Whereas if you have issues like that with Jones, at least they can be sort of, what's the phrase?
Let's
they can
try and keep faith with him.
There's more chance they'll compromise, the new ones.
Anyway, folks, we're going to have to wrap because, as you can see, we've had no interruptions, no Dotty.
Yeah, I'm going to say she's...
Got to go and fetch her, so...
Yeah, some weeks, when we went Charlton, someone came here, didn't they? With Preston being nearer to, we thought, alright, we'll drop her off with a family member. So, we just keep mixing it up, don't we?
Yes, we do. But, yeah, we're just going to fetch her anyway. Well, I am.
I'll put like this how it ended up before. I think the postman wanted a cameo this time, so I'm just glad that I'm able to edit.
Oh, don't come on, cough now.
Alright, so usual blah 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 at the end, but like the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'm going to put the numbers on the screen for the number of people who do and don't subscribe, so if you're one of those who do not, please do. I have to get them words right this time of the morning.
Thanks for the comments from the Aston Villa fan.
Oh, yeah.
Josh had a message from an Aston Villa supporter.
I was just going to read it out, and then for those of you who don't know this, which will be none of you really, I used my phone to record this video, so I can't actually read it, but I'll put it on the screen as well, and I've got to admit, it's very nice words. Thank you very much for writing that. And for the record, we're also glad Hogan got off the mark as well. So it was very well received, put it like that.
So don't forget, folks, give us your comments. I don't care whether they're good, bad, aimed at me, aimed at Josh, whatever. But just comment and we will reply.
Yeah, I mean, the way I see it is, the only thing we don't respond to is trolls, and that's just part and parcel of them being trolls. It's like they don't really want you to respond unless...
Yeah, and I can't stand, what these people who sort of say, why don't you just F and do this and that, I don't need that, not at my age.
No, okay, so I think we've said what we need to say, so...
Goodbye.
Yeah, thank you very much. Bye, folks.
See ya. Bye, whoops.